Dream of the Red Chamber, Chapter 6.
So let's start with Baryu, after that very famous dream sequence.
Right, where the goddess Jingwan basically gives him the talk, the facts of life, celestial edition.
And he wakes up. The text says, Oma, confused, disoriented.
Yeah, feeling like he's lost something. And he's sort of mulling over how his nurse, Kunishi, called his name in his sleep. It's a subtle callback to the dream's content.
It's all quite internal, dreamlike. But then it becomes very, very physical. That's where Shannon comes in.
Ah, yes, Shiren, one of his principal maids. She's helping him get dressed.
Routine morning stuff, tying his sash.
And her hand brushes against his thigh, and she feels it, that ice-cold wet patch.
And her reaction is instant, right? She jumps back. Shock. Fight, even.
Understandably. But Baiyu's reaction is also telling. He doesn't really panic. He doesn't apologize. He just blushes deeply.
And pinches her hand.
It's an immediate assertion of a new dynamic, isn't it? A shared secret, a new kind of intimacy.
And the text is careful to point out that Shiren isn't naive. She's a clever girl.
Right. A couple of years older than him. And crucially, she's gradually understood the affairs of people.
So she puts two and two together pretty fast. The dream, the goddess, this physical evidence.
Instantly. She blushes too, understands the significance, the secrecy required, and she doesn't dare push it. Not there, not then.
It shows her position, really. Her cleverness is, it's immediately put in service of protecting him, managing the situation for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Understanding the master's secrets is part of her role, almost a form of job security within that structure.
The dual moment, though, comes a bit later, when they're alone.
Yes. When she's helping him change his clothes privately, that's when he confesses.
He tells her about the dream.
Tells her the details, the affair of clouds and rain that the goddess taught him. He needs to process it, maybe even brag a little.
And then?
The action. The text says he forces Yiran to practice the lesson.
Okay, now, that word forces, that obviously jumps out at a modern reader. It sounds like coercion.
It does. And we can't just brush that aside. But the source immediately provides let's say, the internal justification within that specific social world.
Which is absolutely key to understanding this. The text says Yiran doesn't see it as crossing the line too.
Why not?
Because the matriarch, Jiamu, his grandmother, had already basically assigned Yiran to him, designated her as his future. Concubine.
Right. So in that system, her body, her future, was already earmarked as belonging to him, to the household's needs. There wasn't really a line for her to define or defend in that context.
It's chilling, but it's the reality the source presents. The author isn't necessarily endorsing it, but describing how that system operates. Her consent is just irrelevant to the structure.
He's essentially claiming an asset that was already allocated to him, just, a bit ahead of schedule.
And this secret act, this trial run, it changes things between them fundamentally.
Deepens the bond, for sure. He starts favoring her above the other maids, and she, in turn, becomes even more devoted. It secures her position.
So inside the mansion walls, even this potentially problematic act is contained, sanctioned by the existing structure, and actually reinforces the internal hierarchy.
That's the privilege, isn't it?
What?
Consequence-free access, defined by proximity to power. The system protects its own.
And understanding that insulated privilege, that's exactly when the narrative has to pivot, right? To show what lies outside that bubble.
Precisely. The author even sort of flags it as a narrative problem. How do you even start to tell the story of this place? The Rong mansion has, 300 or 400 people?
Yeah, and daily life is that tangled hem. Just chaos. No clear thread, no thunny.
So to find a starting point, you have to zoom out, way out, to this. Tiny household, smaller than a mustard seed.
The absolute opposite. Small, poor, struggling, but connected. Just barely.
And that connection is how we meet the other side of this story. The desperate side. This family, surnamed Wang. Locals.
Descended from some minor official ages ago, but the crucial thing is their link to the powerful Wang Shifeng's family, Wang Furen's family.
This fake.
Well, not fake, but opportunistic, right? The ancestor-linked lineage, just to borrow their influence.
Right. Just pure social climbing based on a shared surname, basically. And whatever benefit that offered is long gone now.
Yeah, time's passed. The ancestor's dead. His son, Wang Cheng, also dead. Now it's just the grandson, Gueri.
Literally, doggy. Tells you something about their status.
Him, his wife Lu Shi, and their two little kids, Banner and Kinger. And they're farmers. struggling.
just trying to get by. And Gur's mother-in-law, Laolao grandma Lu, lives with him. An elderly widow helps out.
It's a picture of subsistence living, really. Right near the capital, but totally cut off from its wealth.
And the crisis hits. The text makes it very concrete. It's late autumn, early winter sigh.
And they have nothing stored for the winter. Iker sign, no provisions.
So Gur is at home, drinking, frustrated, probably yelling at his wife. You can feel the pressure building. It's the polar opposite of Bayou's world of easy comfort.
And Laolao steps in. She's clearly the practical one.
She calls him out a bit for drinking and not managing money when he had some. But then she says something really telling about wealth.
What's that?
She points out they live near Chang'an, the capital, and she says, money is everywhere.
Wow.
It only lacks someone to grab it. Which sounds almost hopeful, but from their position, it's just highlighting the brutal unfairness of it all. It's right there, but totally out of reach for them.
Because they don't have the means to grab it. Gur gets this immediately, right?
Oh, yeah. He mocks her. You want me to go steal it? And then he lays out the problem. I don't have relatives collecting taxes or friends who are officials.
Connections. It always comes back to connections. For the poor, it's not networking, it's survival.
So Laolao, being the strategist she is, comes up with a plan. A desperate long-shot plan.
Based on that old shaky family link.
Exactly. Let's go appeal to our relative, the second young lady of the Wang family.
Who is now the incredibly powerful wife of Jia Yin, Jia Erlaoe in the Rongguo mansion, Wang Shifeng.
Laolao apparently met her once, a long time ago. And she starts building this picture of her. She says she's very quick, hospitable, not stuck-up tree.
She's basically crafting a persona that makes the trip seem less terrifying, maybe. Building up their courage.
And she adds another layer, sentiment. She argues Wang Shifeng is older now and known for being incredibly charitable.
Playing the charity card. Loves to help the poor, pity the old. Yan. Appealing to her public image.
It's all they have to go on, really. And the desperation behind it all comes out in that absolutely devastating analogy she uses.
Oh, the one about the hair.
Yeah. She says, look, if Wang Shifeng shows just a tiny bit of goodwill, pulling out one of her tiny hairs is thicker than our waists.
Ugh. That image just, it hits hard. Their entire family's physical substance, their waists, is worth less than a single strand of hair from the rich relative's head.
It perfectly captures the unbelievable gulf in wealth and worth. It reduces them to almost nothing. Less than discardable.
It's about sheer luck, isn't it? Hoping for a whim of charity, not appealing based on any real connection or merit.
And the obstacles are huge. Lu Shi, the wife, immediately voices the fears. Our shabby clothes, our faces. We look poor. We are poor.
And how do we even get past the front gate? The guards, the servants, they probably won't even announce us.
That's a very real barrier. The layers of servants protecting the inner sanctum. But who's motivated?
Gur. The text says he's driven by fame and profit. He is a potential payoff.
So he pushes Laolao to go, since she's the one who supposedly met Wang Jifeng before.
And Laolao's response is just dripping with fear and realism. That famous line.
The Marquis's gates are deep like the sea. She knows how vast the distance is socially. She even asks, what kind of thing am I? It's complete self-negation almost.
So they need a tactic. Just showing up isn't enough.
Gur's idea again. The entry strategy.
Take the grandson.
Banner.
Why the child?
Kids can sometimes get you past barriers adults can't. Maybe seem less threatening. And don't go straight to the main house. First, find a senior retainer, Zhu Rui.
The Regent. Someone whose family served the Jias for generations.
And crucially, someone whose family knew Gur's father back in the day. So it's leveraging a child, an old servant connection, and the dodgy lineage claim. It's a whole package.
Social maneuvering at its most desperate. And Laolao, she finally agrees.
She decides to just go for it. Sacrifice this old face. Just try her luck.
And her final justification is almost heartbreaking. Even if they get nothing, no money.
She'll have at least seen the world, seen how the other half, or rather the other 0.01%, lives. That alone would make her life feel worthwhile.
Wow. Just witnessing that level of wealth is framed as a life achievement for her.
That's the depth of the desperation as she sets off. Laolao's first visit.
That first incredibly high-stakes journey into the enormous world of the Rongguo mansion.
Right. She's this humble, older woman from the countryside.
bringing her little grandson, Banner.
And her only real leverage is this kind of long-lost family connection.
And, just desperate hope for some help.
Yeah, this source material, it's just a masterclass in navigating social structures.
It really is.
It throws the extreme wealth of the Jia family into sharp contrast with her genuine poverty.
So the moment Lu Laolao actually arrives, the intimidation factor is just huge.
It's physical, isn't it?
Totally. She gets near the main gate, the Rong Fu Daemon.
And the source says she sees this swarm of thronging carriages and horses.
Just the sheer volume of traffic and, obvious wealth makes her hesitate. She doesn't even want to cross.
She has to actually stop, dust herself off, talk to Banner.
Right, prepare herself mentally before she even dares approach the smaller side gate, the corner gate.
And that hesitation is so important. It shows she's already feeling kind of defeated before asking for anything.
And then at that corner gate, she hits the first wall of bureaucracy.
And it seems designed purely to humiliate her.
Yeah, the servants aren't helpful at all. They're described as, what was it? Chest out, belly in, gesticulating people.
Exactly. The picture of arrogance. Just sitting there chatting, completely ignoring her.
She tries asking for Zhao Tei's wife.
And they just tell her to wait. Way over by the wall, like she's contaminating their space.
It's pure degradation. But what's the point of being that petty? Why not just tell her where to go?
Well, it's about maintaining that status difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
They need to show that even they, the minor gatekeepers, are leagues above her.
Enforcing the privilege mode, basically.
Precisely. It actually takes an older person among them, an elderly person, to show a tiny bit of decency.
And he's the one who finally tells her Zhao Tei's gone to the south, apparently.
Uh-huh. And that she needs to go around to the back street, the Huji, to find his wife.
And that redirection, going to the back street, it completely changes the feel of the place.
Oh, absolutely. It's like night and day.
Yeah. The front is all formal, imposing power.
And the back, it's lively, bustling, almost messy.
Right. 20 or 30 kids playing, street vendors selling snacks and trinkets.
It feels more alive. And crucially, it's where the real access seems to be. But even finding the right person in the back is tricky. It's not straightforward.
No, she has to ask kids for directions to Zudama.
Only to find out there are, 3 Zudamas?
And 2 Zunainis. It's confusing.
It has to be really specific. I'm looking for Zhu Rui, the Tai Tai's accompanying family.
Let's pause on that. That detail is vital, isn't it? Zhu Rui's wife is her only link.
She's the bridge. And the source gives us 2 clear reasons why she agrees to help Lu Laolao.
Okay, what are they?
Well, first, there's a past obligation. She remembers Lu Laolao's husband, Gawar.
Ah, right. He helped her husband, Zhu Rui, with some land deal years ago.
Exactly. So there's a debt there. But maybe the stronger reason.
Is vanity.
Pretty much. She sees a chance to show off her own importance, her Timian.
To demonstrate her connections inside the big house.
Uh-huh. She wants to leverage this situation to make herself look good.
And it's not like Lu Laolao's request is a total surprise either.
No, the text says Zhu Rui's wife already guessed a few parts of her intent.
So she knew Lu Laolao was probably there to ask for money, just from the way she mentioned wanting to pay respects.
It's transactional right from the start, even if it's veiled in politeness.
And it's Zhu Rui's wife who drops the crucial piece of intel.
The most vital piece, really, that the Tai Tai, the official mistress, isn't really running the show anymore.
Right. The day-to-day power, the real control, belongs to someone else.
Lian Nainai, also known as Feng Nisi, or Wang Shifeng, Tai Tai's niece.
And this is where the hype train really leaves the station. Zhu Rui's wife builds her up massively.
Oh yeah, she paints this picture of Fengji young, under 20, beautiful, incredibly capable.
But the core thing is her mind, right? No less than 10,000 tricks of the mind.
That's the quote. And supposedly so sharp with words that 10 eloquent men couldn't out-argue her.
Wow, so she's like a managerial powerhouse, a master of admin and, well, manipulation.
Absolutely. But there's one catch, one flaw mentioned.
What's that?
She's too strict with the servants.
Ah, so powerful, brilliant, maybe beautiful, but also uncompromising and potentially harsh.
Exactly. That sets the stage perfectly for Lu Laolao's upcoming audience. She's about to face someone formidable.
And because Fengji is so important and busy, there's this sense of urgency.
Yeah, they're literally racing against the clock.
They have to catch her before her noon nap, the Zongju.
Or before she gets tied up with official household reports, the Hushi.
So in this world, timing isn't just about being polite.
No, it's everything. It dictates whether you even get seen at all.
So Lu Laolao is first put in a waiting room, the dining.
Uh-huh. And there she meets Pinger.
Fengji's top maid, right. Her confidant maid.
Yes, and the description of Pinger is meant to floor Lu Laolao and the reader.
Silk and satin all over, adorned with gold and silver, beautiful as a flower.
It's dripping with wealth.
And the shock works. Lu Laolao immediately assumes this is the powerful lady she's supposed to meet.
She calls her Gu Nai Nai, thinking she's Fengji.
Until she hears Zirui's wife call her Ping Gunyang.
And that's the moment of realization. This stunningly dressed woman is just the maid.
That tells you everything about the wealth gap, doesn't it?
It really does. The trusted staff here are wealthier than anyone back in her village. It's a profound culture shock.
And the sensory overload just keeps building when she finally gets into the inner room.
Oh yeah, the moment she steps inside the main hall.
Bam. This wave of perfume hits her face, a scent so strong and unfamiliar she can't even identify it.
She feels like she's floating, as if in the clouds.
And the things in the room, so bright they're dazzling the eyes, making her dizzy.
It's the architecture of intimidation, like you said, using luxury to disorient and assert power.
And nothing represents that alien luxury more than the Western clock.
Ah, the clock. That's such a key detail.
She sees this weird cabinet of ziadzi hanging on a pillar.
With something swinging inside, like a steel yard weight.
And it's making this strange noise, gedang, gedang, which she compares to sifting flour.
She has no frame of reference for it. It's completely foreign technology.
She's just staring at it, baffled.
And then suddenly it chimes. Dang! Followed by 8 or 9 more strikes.
Which must have scared her half to death.
It's the sound of modernity, of the West, crashing into this aristocratic Chinese world. And for an outsider, it's baffling, maybe even magical or frightening.
And it signals Fengji's arrival, her control over time in a way.
Right next to this technological wonder, though, is the evidence of staggering waste.
Oh, the waste is just heartbreaking.
Yeah, they're clearing away this lavish meal. 2 people carrying out a table.
Still piled high with dishes, still full of fish and meat, the text says. Barely touched.
And this sight, this casual display of uneaten luxury, is what triggers her grandson, Banner.
He asks for meat. Just a raw, honest reaction from a hungry child.
It's scarcity confronting obscene abundance head-on.
And Lu Laolao panics. She hits him.
It's such a low point for her. Her poverty, her desperation, just laid bare.
And it's right after that incredibly raw emotional moment
that she's finally brought before the woman who controls all this wealth and power. And the setting for the audience itself is just dripping with calculated opulence.
Big red curtains, carved spittoons, gold-flecked cushions.
Yeah, pure luxury. And Fengji herself, she's dressed richly, but also practically, almost like she's ready for business.
That autumn sable hood, the pearl headband. But sitting there, powder-skinned and radiant.
And notice her first actions, or lack thereof.
Right. She doesn't rush. She's just casually stirring the ashes in her hand stove with a little copper poker.
Doesn't accept the tea right away. Doesn't even look up immediately.
It's all about control. She waits. Then she slowly asks why Lu Laolao wasn't brought in sooner.
Which shows she's aware of everything, dictating the protocol, not just reacting. Putting Zhu Rui's wife in her place slightly.
And when she finally does greet Lu Laolao, it's with this beaming smile. A face full of spring breeze.
Pure performance. And she immediately chastises Zhu Rui's wife for not bringing Lu Laolao straight in.
But not because she actually cares, right? It's to show Lu Laolao that she, Fengji, controls access.
Exactly. She is the gatekeeper, the one you have to get past.
Her actual words are just masterful, too, managing status so carefully.
She does this push and pull, doesn't she?
Yeah. Lu Laolao apologizes for not visiting sooner.
And Fengji flips it, saying basically, well, if you shun us, people might think we're the ones looking down on you.
Wow. So she makes Lu Laolao's poverty and inability to visit sound like Lu Laolao was neglecting them.
It forces Lu Laolao to reaffirm the Jia family's high status, while Fengji appears gracious. It's brilliant manipulation.
And then she immediately downplays their wealth.
Right. Calls it just an old, empty frame.
Uses that proverb, even the court has 3 branches of poor relatives.
Which acknowledges Lu Laolao's poverty, yes, but frames it within the context of their high status they're connected to the court, even their poorest relatives. It maintains the distance.
She never lets that barrier fully drop.
Never. She tells Zhu Rui's wife to go check if the Tai Tai is free. But only if she's free.
Confirming Fengji is still the necessary intermediary. You have to go through her.
She's successfully managed the entire encounter to position herself as the indispensable manager, the one whose approval is needed for anything further.
Laolao, or we can just call her Laolao, maybe.
Yeah, Laolao works.
Yeah.
She shows up with her little grandson, Banner, and they are in dire straits. I mean, the text says no food, winter's coming, it's bad.
Real desperation.
Absolutely. And the way they even get to Chifeng says a lot. They're led to her quarters, but it's not like they can just walk in.
No, there are gatekeepers.
Right. The request first has to go up the chain, filtered through Zurui's wife, to the top dog, the matriarch, Mrs. Jia.
And what does Mrs. Jia say? Does she just hand over some money?
Not at all. The message that comes back is fascinating. Mrs. Jia basically says, look, I know who they are, sort of. The connection is super distant, just a shared surname from way back, an old official link. They haven't been close.
So technically family, but barely.
Barely. And here's the kicker. Mrs. Jia says, treat them kindly, sure, but the actual decision on what to give or if to give anything, that's entirely up to Jifeng.
Ah, okay. So the decision lands squarely in Jifeng's lap.
Exactly. The instruction is literally, let the mistress decide for herself. It's not just handle the details. It's a full delegation of authority on this specific, potentially awkward family matter.
Why is that so important, that specific delegation? I mean, doesn't it just shield the matriarch from having to deal with poor relatives?
Well, yes, it does that too. It keeps Mrs. Jia's hands clean, so to speak. But more importantly, it publicly validates Shifeng's power. It makes her the active gatekeeper for the family's purse strings, at least the discretionary ones.
So she's not just managing the household accounts. She's deciding who gets what, even when it comes to charity or family obligation.
Precisely. Authority is one thing, but the discretion to act, that's where the real day-to-day power lies. And she gets to show off that power almost immediately. But not with Laolao first.
Right, there's an interruption, isn't there? Someone else shows up.
Yes, just as poor Laolao was trying to work up the courage to make her plea, which must have been incredibly difficult and embarrassing, in walks Jia Rong.
Okay, and who is Jia Rong?
He's Sifeng's nephew, from the other main branch of the family, the East Mansion, and he's the total opposite of Laolao. Young guy, 17 or 18, handsome, and decked out.
Decked out how?
The text mentions light furs and treasure belts, beautiful clothes. He looks every bit the young aristocrat. And poor Lao, seeing this, she apparently just freezes, doesn't know whether to sit or stand or where to look. Utterly intimidated.
Understandable, the contrast must have been stark.
Immense. But here's the thing. Jia Rong, despite his fancy clothes and status, is also there to ask for something. He's also a supplicant, in a way.
What does he want?
He's been sent by his father to borrow something very specific and valuable. It's this decorative glass Kang screen. A Kang is that heated brick platform bed, common in northern China.
So like a fancy room divider for the bed platform.
Sort of, yeah. Decorative screen. And this one was special, a gift to Feng. It wasn't just some random item. It was a known, precious object.
Okay, so he needs a favor. How does Shifeng handle him? Does she just say, sure, nephew, take it?
Huh? Not even close. It's actually shocking how she treats him. It's an immediate power play. First, she just flat out denies him.
Denies him? Just lies?
Pretty much. She says something like, oh, that screen, sorry, I already gave it away.
Whoa. Why do that? Isn't that risky, messing with her own family network like that? He's an important nephew, right?
It is risky, but it's all about setting the price. Before she grants anything, even to family, she makes them work for it. She makes him understand who's in charge.
So what does Jia Rong do? Does he just leave?
He can't. His father sent him. He's terrified of going back empty-handed, so he has to humiliate himself. The text says he actually half kneels.
Half kneels. In his fancy furs and belts.
Right there. And he has to sort of laugh nervously and beg her, explaining his dad will basically skin him alive if he fails. It's pure performance of submission.
Only then she agrees.
Only then. But even when she agrees, it comes with a threat. She says, fine, take it. But if you scratch it even slightly, watch your skin. So the favor is granted, but under duress, almost.
Okay, so he gets the screen, but he had to grovel first.
Wait, it gets better or worse, depending on your perspective. The real dominance move comes next.
What happens?
She tells a servant to go fetch the screen. Jia Rong is relieved, obviously, probably heading for the door. And she calls him back.
Calls him back. Why?
Just to make him wait. He comes back, stands there, and she just ignores him, sips her tea. The text says she drifts off like she's lost in thought. For a noticeable amount of time, just leaves him standing there in silence.
Oh, that is cold. Maximum power move.
Exactly. It's the ultimate display. Control over time and access is almost more potent than control over the object itself. She's showing him, and Laolao, who's witnessing all this, that his status means nothing when he needs something from her. He operates on her schedule.
And only after making him sweat does she finally let him go.
Yeah, eventually she just dismisses him. Says something like, okay, you can go now. Come back after dinner. I've got company, meaning Laolao, and I don't have the energy to deal with you right now.
Wow. So she used the presence of the poor relative as an excuse to dismiss the rich one after humiliating him.
It's brilliantly layered. She's established her absolute authority over her supposed social equal. Laolao saw the whole thing. She saw the price of asking Shifen for something, even for insiders.
Okay, so the stage is perfectly set now for Laolao's actual plea. Jia Rong is gone. Shifeng has just performed absolute power. How does Laolao approach it now? She must be even more nervous.
Oh, visibly nervous, the text implies. But she has to try. She starts explaining their situation again. No food, the cold weather setting in, no real way to make a living. Yeah, as the phrase used, like no proper means.
And she tries to connect her grandson to Shifeng right
Yes,
now.
in her nervousness, she kind of fumbles and calls Banner your nephew, which is a huge social error.
Because Jia Rong is the real nephew.
Exactly. That term has a specific status meaning here, but Jifene, she just cuts through the awkwardness, doesn't even let her finish the rambling explanation, just says, quite efficiently, I know already.
Still maintaining that control, that air of knowing everything.
Totally. But she does show a bit of basic courtesy. She orders someone to bring food for them, noting that Laolao probably hadn't eaten all day.
A small kindness, but noticeable after the Jia Rong display.
Yes. But then, before she actually gives any money, she does something else important. She gives a little speech.
A speech? About what?
Justifying why she can't give more, essentially. She explains that even big, wealthy families like the Jias have their own problems, their own difficult places, as the text puts it. Stuff that outsiders wouldn't believe.
The even we have troubles line. Managing expectations.
Precisely. It minimizes the perceived ease of the gift she's about to give. It subtly reminds Laolao that this isn't just effortless wealth being tossed around. It's coming out of a budget that supposedly has its own pressures.
Okay, so after the justification comes the actual aid. What does she give?
She offers 20 taels of silver.
20 taels. How much is that, roughly? Is it a lot?
For Laolao's family, it's a fortune. Life-changing, probably. Enough to get through the winter, maybe more. For the Jia household, it's not insignificant, but manageable. Definitely within Jifeng's discretionary power.
And does she just hand it over?
No, there's a crucial detail. She specifies where the money is coming from. She says it was money she had already set aside to make clothes for her maids, her pia.
Wow. Okay, what's the message there?
It's doing a couple of things at once. First, it reinforces that this is her money to control and toll. She even manages the clothing budget for her personal servants. Second, it frames the gift as a personal sacrifice. She's taking from her staff, notionally, to give to Laolao. It makes the gift seem more generous, more deliberate.
So it's not just charity, it's a calculated reallocation from her own resources.
Exactly. And she has one extra dio of cash, which is a much smaller string of coins, specifically telling them to use it to hire a carriage home. Very practical. The silver itself, she earmarks specifically for Boehner's winter clothes.
So it's all very accounted for, very specific, not just a random handout.
Not at all. It's controlled, justified, and framed perfectly.
And Lao's reaction, pure joy.
Over the moon, absolute overwhelming relief and gratitude. And this is where she uses that famous proverb, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse.
Meaning, even a struggling Jia family is vastly richer than her own.
Right. Even your leftovers are a feast for us. But then she follows it up with something less elegant.
Uh-oh. What does she say?
It's a pretty crude analogy, basically saying, pulling out one of your old hairs is thicker than our waists.
Ah. Yeah, that's vivid. And probably not appropriate courtly language.
Definitely not. It's way too graphic, too physical. It highlights the social gulf, sure, but in a really jarring, almost vulgar way for that setting. It reduces Shifeng's calculated generosity to something almost animalistic. It immediately signals that Laolao doesn't quite grasp the social niceties, even in her gratitude.
So even in this moment of relief, the class difference is just undeniable.
Starkly underlined, and it requires correction later.
So Shifeng gives the money. Lao makes her slightly awkward, thank you. How does it wrap up in the room?
Shifeng, mission accomplished, basically stands up, dismisses them quite politely, actually. Tells them they should come visit again sometime, just for a social call. Not only when they need something.
Maintaining that veneer of kinship even after everything.
Exactly. The performance is complete, but the social lesson isn't quite over.
What happens outside?
As Zuri's wife is leading Laolao away, she gives her a proper telling off.
About the hair comment.
Partly that, yes. Scolds her for the vulgarity.
Yeah.
But also, very pointedly, corrects her for calling Banner Shifeng's nephew. She says something like, Jia Rong is her proper nephew. How did she suddenly get another one?
Ouch. Reinforcing the hierarchy one last time. Don't get any ideas above your station.
Precisely. It locks down the status difference that Shifeng just masterfully navigated inside. And then there's one final little interaction. Laolao, maybe feeling she should offer something in return, tries to give a little bit of the silver back to Zuri's wife, maybe for her kids. A gesture of reciprocity.
And Zuri's wife takes it.
Absolutely not. She refuses it flat out. That small amount is beneath her notice, essentially.
Wow. So even the go-between, the servant, is operating on a completely different financial level than Laolao.
Miles apart. It just hammers home the point. Generosity flows one way here downwards from Shifeng. Any attempt by Laolao to reverse that flow, even symbolically, is rejected.
So the whole episode ends with Laolao having the money, but being firmly put back in her place socially.
Exactly, and the sources quote this great couplet to sum it all up. When in high spirits, it is easy to help. A deeply received favor is better than close kin.